Alright guys, Matt here with Matt's Lock Shop. We're going to be working on a video for wilderness survival here. One of the biggest tools for survival is cordage. Cordage, and more cordage. You'll need this for building a shelter. You'll need this for making traps. Even carrying your equipment, protecting your equipment, building fires, everything. Cordage can become one of the biggest tools you'll need in wilderness survival. Like I said, for everything. Shelter building, fire building, gathering food from traps, fishing. Uh, like I said, bow drill, you'll need cordage. Alright? So, hard to make in the wild. Not impossible to make in the wild, but hard to make in the wild. You can find some things that could be used for natural cordage, but carry some. Bring some with you. I recommend paracord, and I recommend number 36 bank line, tarred bank line. Alright. Both have their, that would be your minimum. Both have ups and downs, pluses and minuses. But big thing is carry some kind of cordage. So once you get into the cordage, there'll be two types: man-made and natural. All right. So when you start using cordage, you start cutting it, whatever, you need to start to keep it from unraveling, be able to use it. So with man-made cordage on bank line or paracord, you're going to want to fuse the ends. It's just basic, guys. Cut it, fuse your ends. That way when you use it, it's not unraveling. There are times when you might want to unravel it to get a little smaller diameter. That's why I recommend number 36, because you can separate this out to smaller strands that will then let you use it for threads for sewing. You can use it for net making. So number 36 is a good size cordage to have. Gives you some options. It does not stretch. All right, that's one of the big things about it, is you're not going to stretch with this. I've used it for just about everything you can use it for. All right, so recommendation there. Number 36 tarred bank line. I carry large roll when I know I'm going to be out for a while, or when I know I'm going to be teaching a class. My minimum recommendation would be a smaller roll. I think it's 200 yards for your haversack kit, your day pack, whatever. This should do you. Okay. And with survival, you're not looking at hopefully not survival, but just some inconvenient camping. So there's a recommendation there for you. Smaller amount carry, lighter to carry. Lighter's good, especially when you start getting old like me. All right. So we got to fuse those ends. You cut that wherever you cut the line, wherever you cut it. Fuse the two ends with a lighter. Fire. If you got a fire going, you can use it. If not, use your lighter. Paracord, same thing. Once you cut that line, you start getting this. And the sheath is braided, so it won't unravel as quickly. The inner core is usually not. There's a few strands in there, depending upon the type of paracord you have. I have some that has the fishing line, the jute twine, the fire starting kind, whatever. But fuse that end. Alright, bring it down, watch, don't burn yourself. Keep your injuries down, but do fuse that line. I always try to work it out to a diameter just about the same size as the paracord itself, in case you need to feed it through something. You start getting it in like that, it gets hard to work with. You know, a little bit of plastic that ends up on the end will break off. You'll start unraveling again. So try to work it out. You can, but don't burn yourself. Pretty basic, pretty simple things, but can go a long way in the details of survival. Next is natural rope. I do carry some. This is probably about it. It gives you some options, but again, this will unravel once you start to get this cutting the rope to lengths you need. You'll see, you will start to unravel. Do not throw that away. Rope can be a natural fire tinder. You can separate this out, it'll catch spark. And I always save the ends, always save bits and pieces. Separate them out, make yourself some bird nest material. This is jute twine. I always carry a roll of jute twine with me. A lot can be done with this. Bird's nest material is probably one of my biggest things for using this stuff. I can't recommend it more. As sometimes finding dry, natural material out in the wild is not always easy. Get some of this. I recommend cutting into smaller pieces if you're going to start making bird's nest material. Just for unraveling, it is better, easier, quicker. You can open this all up, get down to those fine lines, fine fibers. You can open this all up. Break this down. This is all good stuff here. You can use this. You can break this down if you need a smaller cord, but it is weaker than the natural or than the man-made. But it does give you great dry material to get a fire going, which can save your life. Alright guys, so that's getting into the natural. So how do we fuse this end? You can't. On a natural rope, you're melting the plastics and everything man-made materials down on paracord, bank line. It's a nylon, so you can melt that down. So on a natural, you need this to keep this from unraveling. So a couple things you can do. If you got duct tape, you can duct tape it. That'll give you a temporary way of holding that together. So if you do that, you can take some Gorilla tape, duct tape, whatever you have. This is 2-inch Gorilla tape here. That's what I used to make the fire tinder bundle in one of my other videos. So you can separate this out because you don't really need a whole lot. Get this get a piece off of there, and you can put it on that end. Wrap it around, and you have a fix. I would call it temporary. You could use the hole or a larger piece. Wrap it in where you want to make your cut. It's probably a bigger piece than I needed there, but it's alright for demonstration purposes. And then make your cut through all this. And you have both ends wrapped. Alright, so that's another option. Another one we're going to talk about here is a technique for binding the ends of rope, but it also serves well for tool making, attaching stuff to other things. You can use this technique. This will be a knot that is used in fly tying. We're finishing a fly. It's called a whip finish. A couple different ways you can do this. Make a bite. It's where you fold the rope back over on itself, lay it on here, and then you make tight wraps continuously down to your loop. Alright. And once you're there by your loop, you can cut off the piece you need or have it already cut. It's fine. You run this loose end through your loop and then pull this down tight. So that you're pulling that through there. Binds on itself, and you come in and you can cut these where you need them. And then you have a more permanent binding on the nodule rope. The other way to tie a whip finish on an end of a rope. I don't cut my... Might need to sharpen this one a little bit, but... There we go. I think we're about through now. We cut that off. Get a piece of length I think you might need. Cut that length off. We need to sharpen that blade. Alright. So take your end of your rope that you want to bind Take your piece of jute twine, form a overhand loop, lay it next to your end there, and it's pretty much the same thing. You just want to wrap it tightly as you can around the end. Here, let me back that out because we're going to cross it over. We'll start back here. If I figure out what I'm doing here, we'll be alright. Been a while since I've done this one, but anyway, you get it there. Do a few wraps, pull the ends, and you have created what you need. And come back in here and trim your get around everything. And you have your whip finish. But that's just some basics. On cordage, we're starting to get there. Always keep your cut-offs, like I said. This all can become natural tinder for you for starting your next fire. And this will take the spark from a ferro rod fairly well. A little awkward trying to do this in front of the camera there, but you get the idea. Need some thicker. And you end up with a fire. Alright, this has been Matt with Matt's Lock Shop. Thank you guys. Got any questions, leave me comments below, like, subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody. Have a good one.